Have you ever wondered if karma is really what we think it is? What if it's not some ancient, unchangeable cosmic law that's got you locked into a fixed destiny? What if it's more like an operating system, one that you can actually learn to access, debug, and even reprogram? Well, let's dive in, because today we're exploring a really powerful set of techniques called karma programming.
So here's our flight plan for this journey. First, we're going to completely shift our understanding of what karma even is. Then, we'll walk through a 4-step algorithm that's designed to give you conscious control. And finally, we'll look at what it really means to go from being just a passenger in your life to being the pilot in the cockpit.
All right, let's get right to it. First things first, we have to do a complete reboot on our definition of karma. This isn't about just resigning yourself to your fate, it's about recognizing the very code that runs your reality.
I mean, this is the fundamental question, isn't it? Are we just living out some pre-written story based on everything we've done in the past, or do we actually have the power to pick up the pen and write a brand new chapter starting right now? The whole perspective we're exploring today argues, pretty forcefully, that you absolutely have the pen.
And this right here, this is the whole game changer. On the left, you've got the old view, karma as this prison sentence that's handed down by your past. But the view we're looking at today, on the right, reframes it as a dynamic program. And you know, like any program, it can be consciously influenced if you know the language.
So, what is karma programming exactly? Well, think of it as an actionable skill set. This isn't about wishful thinking, not at all. It's about learning specific techniques to step into that automatic chain of cause and effect and turn the momentum of your past into fuel for the future you actually want. And at the heart of it all is this simple 4-step algorithm. That's it. Pause, broadcast, balance, and accelerate. This is our roadmap for taking control. So let's jump into the first step and see exactly how this works. Okay, step 1. This is all about hitting the brakes. We all have these automatic reactions, right? These deep grooves of habit that kind of run our lives. This first step is all about cutting the power to that autopilot system. You know how it starts. Someone cuts you off in traffic, your boss sends a snippy email, whatever it is, an external event, a stimulus, triggers an old, pre-programmed pattern. You can think of it like a karmic neural circuit that's just been reinforced for years, waiting for the signal to fire. But here's the magic. Right there, in that tiny space between the stimulus and your automatic reaction, that's a moment of pure potential. This is what some call cognitive decoupling. By simply observing the impulse to react, without acting on it, you create a conscious gap. You're literally hitting the pause button on the code's execution. And in that gap, you get to choose a different response. And here's the crucial part. Every single time you do this, every time you consciously choose not to run the old program, you are physically weakening that old neural circuit. You're literally stopping the electricity from flowing down that path. And that's the first real step to rewriting it. So, once we've learned how to pause the old programs, it's time to start writing new ones. Step 2 is where we move from being reactive to being actively creative. It's all about broadcasting a clear, powerful signal of the future you want to create. Now, there's a really critical distinction we have to make here. A simple desire, that's like a fuzzy radio station full of static. It's just an ego-based wish, a weak, incoherent signal. But a sankalpa, which basically translates to a sacred vow or heartfelt intention, that's totally different. It's a clear, focused, powerful command that's aligned with your deeper purpose. It's like a high-fidelity broadcast into the field of potential. And this is where things get really fascinating. The idea here is that a focused intention, a pure signal, actually acts on the field of all possibilities. Think of it like this. You're not just hoping for something. You're actively biasing the odds, making it more probable that your desired outcome will actually manifest. You're programming probability itself. Okay, so we've hit pause on the old code and we're broadcasting the new. But what about all that negative momentum from our past? You know, the baggage. Step 3 gives us a really strategic, almost mathematical way to deal with it. This is about balancing the books.
I love this because it frames karma in a way we can really wrap our heads around. It's like physics. It treats a past negative action, like aggression, as a vector with a negative value, say -10. So to neutralize it, you apply an equal and opposite vector, a counteraction, like compassion, with a value of +10. The result? You're back to 0. Or even better, you can apply a stronger positive vector, like extreme generosity, to not only neutralize the past, but to actually create a positive trajectory for your future. It's a strategic calculation.
And that brings us to the final step. And honestly, this one might be the most profound technique of them all. If balancing the ledger seems like it could take lifetimes, Step 4 suggests a way to radically accelerate the entire process.
Yeah, the idea here is pretty mind-bending. The claim is that through deep states of consciousness, what might have taken decades of normal cause and effect to play out can be processed, purified, and resolved in a super-compressed time frame, sometimes even in just a few moments. It's like a karmic detox on hyperspeed.
So you're probably asking, how on earth is that even possible? Well, the analogy used here is just brilliant. It's like Einstein's relativity. Just as traveling near the speed of light actually alters your experience of time, raising your level of conscious energy, say through deep focus or meditation, alters the time scale of causality. The higher your conscious frequency, the faster you process and resolve your karma. So when you put all of this together, what does this journey from fate to code, from reaction to creation, really mean? Well, it means a fundamental shift in our own identity. You literally evolve from being karma's slave, passive, reactive, always controlled by the programs of the past, to becoming karma's pilot, active, intentional, and consciously using the laws of cause and effect to shape the future you want. So, you get to leave this explainer with a toolkit, your flight's controls, if you will. You've got the pause button to stop those unwanted autopilot programs. You've got the broadcast function to set your destination. You have the balance controls to make real-time course corrections. And you've got the accelerator to speed up your journey. And remember, these 4 techniques aren't just separate tricks. Pause, broadcast, balance, accelerate. Together, they form a complete, integrated system for navigating your destiny. This is basically the pilot's manual for your life. And the ultimate potential of mastering these skills, well, it's nothing short of profound. As the source material concludes, it's an evolution in what it even means to be human. From being a subject of the universe's laws to becoming a conscious co-creator alongside them. Which leaves us with one final, expansive thought to chew on. We've talked about all of this as a personal transformation, a way to pilot your own life. But what happens to the world when an entire flight crew of conscious pilots learns to navigate not just their own destiny, but a collective one? What kind of future could we create then?